Hi guys. So today I'm gonna do a spiritual update on the murders of Madison Mogan, Zena Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, and Kaylee Gonzalez, who were killed in Idaho, in their off-campus apartment on November the 13th, 2022. Since my last reading, a lot has transpired. In particular, the arrest of Brian Kohberger. So I just kind of want to see what Spirit wants to say about everything that has transpired. So I am going to shuffle and get started. But I did a first cut. Foundations and achievements in reverse, and authority. That does not give me very good vibes about the police. I'm not sure what to make of those cards that just came out. I felt this before, but I feel like there's something not, and this just flew out. Triumph. I'm not sure that the story that we know is correct. But why? In previous readings, I've mentioned that when Brian Kohberger was arrested, it didn't feel like the story was complete. Like spiritually, it didn't feel like, okay, they have their man, which could be the case, but it's not, it's partial. Like there's more. Destiny in reverse and sacral chakra in reverse. I just heard the word motive. Like the motive for these crimes is not correct. The words I didn't do this. I'm not sure if what is coming through is Brian Kohberger or the victims. It's like, the energy is like, this is not what I saw for myself. Recognition and reward in reverse, and accelerated motion. These cards just made me feel like the police came to their conclusion too quickly. Yeah, it's like all the pieces of the puzzle are not in place. I just heard the words rush to judgment. I feel like Brian Kohberger iceberg is like part of it, but not the whole enchilada. Victory and success in reverse. Base chakra in reverse. All these cards that are coming out are like pointing to, like, this is not it. Do they have the wrong guy? Okay, I'm gonna start pulling cards. Discontent and boredom is from the bottom of the deck, and from the top is new beginnings. I do have to say, like, I think that Brian Kohberger's energy is coming through here. Maybe I would say like 4 or 5 days ago, I heard, I'm gonna die in here. And I knew that it was his energy. I felt at the time, and I feel that he believes that he's going down for this, and that he is going to die in jail. I feel like these two cards, it's like everyone involved in this situation is, and it's understandable, is just like totally devastated by this situation. But the energy that I'm feeling from these cards is his energy. I feel like there's like despair happening in the jail, and like he can't be reached. I think he's like withdrawn and hopeless. And as he would, which is understandable, as you would be, right? Let's keep going. Sacrifice. That makes me feel like he feels like he's lost quite a bit. Oh my goodness. Honestly, like from the very beginning I've been saying this, such bad energy surrounding this case. Like very, very bad. Like, I feel like this is how he feels about himself. Like, he's a sacrificial lamb. The victims are sacrificial lambs. But for what? The feeling I'm getting is like victim mentality. Feeling like I keep hearing the word scapegoat. So the feeling I'm getting is like he feels used. Used. That's the word I got. What is helping him is the truth. What is the truth? Okay, so now I'm feeling like he does not feel like he's guilty of this crime. And the only thing that he feels like is on his side is the truth. I just heard pissed. Like really mad. Universe, that's what's hurting him at this time. It's like, I just heard they got their man. I'm gonna say this, I feel like Brian Kohberger feels like he's being set up. I just heard the word picked. What is going on is he's pissed because he feels like he's being set up, but at the same time he also feels hopeless because all the evidence that is coming to light is pointing towards his guilt. Like he feels like he's done. But the energy I feel is that he feels like he did not commit this crime. Positive movement forward. Okay, there's something going on behind the scenes. I think with his defense. There's something with his defense that makes him feel positive about, like, even though it looks bad, there's something in his defense that he feels positive about. The root. The waiting game. He feels like there's something about time that's on his side. Like there's a space of time that is in his favor. I just heard the word alibi. Something with his alibi? I'm wondering if this has something to do with Dylan. And the way that she waited to call 911. I'm thinking that he feels like that is in his favor. Something about time. Moving on. Okay, this card makes me feel like it made me feel like he was in the area, but it's not for the reasons that they think. Like, that they're... Okay. Passion ignited. That makes me feel like there's going to be renewed energy on his part. Which then leads me to feel like There's going to be some sort of positive momentum for him. And it's going to spark this passion for him. This card keeps making me feel like there was like infatuation, but it wasn't like but he was getting over it, which makes me feel like there was involvement with this house, with someone inside of the house. Feeling I'm getting is like I keep hearing they've got it wrong, they've got it wrong, they've got it wrong. Temptation. Okay. This is like, I feel like the driving force. I feel like there's something going on with him in this house. But again, it's not what it's being made out to be. And this temptation makes me feel like drugs, makes me feel like sex, like debauchery. Not sure. We'll clarify that. Transformation. Something. It's like something that was is no longer. There is a connection. There is an absolute, definite connection. This was not random. Like the feeling that I'm getting is like all the illusions that he had about the situation are dissolving. It's like I feel like he thought one way about the situation, but everything that he thought is now becoming like clear. That's what I got from this card. Like he had this idea that his life was one way, but now he realizes that everything that he thought was a lie. When I looked at this card, I just heard passing through. Solitude. This person Brian Kohberger does not like the spotlight. In fact, I think he hates it. So it's almost like when I just want to be left alone. So it's like when they talk about how serial killers like relish the moment of being in the spotlight, that's not him. He actually hates being in the spotlight. And wishes and hopes to be alone. Like he does not want to be on the news. He does not want to be his face everywhere. He prefers to be private. But then he's also scared at the same time because he imagines a life in jail where he's alone for the rest of his life. So there's kind of like a double issue with being alone that's going on inside of him right now. And the outcome, conflict and defeat. So he's aware that there's a very significant battle that's about to take place. Yeah, like something fishy is happening here. Let's continue. From foundation. Yeah, so there's something interesting happening here. So everything that Brian Kohberger has worked for over however long it takes to get a master's degree and so forth is now done, gone, like it's dead. He, even if he were to be found guilty, everything that he has worked for is dead. Like his life is ruined, is how he feels. There's something, I feel like there's some sort of risk that I feel like he took that cost him. Like, there is definitely involvement. Love begins. I feel like he was having a relationship with someone in that house. And the feeling that I'm getting is like it was against his better judgment. But he did it anyways, and now he's all wrapped up in this mess. Fertility. Yeah, I just heard the word infatuation. Yeah, he was having some sort of relationship, I believe, with someone inside that house. And it was against his better judgment, but he did it anyway. You know what? I have to say, right around the time when I heard I'm gonna die in here, I also heard I heard she was my first kiss or something along those lines, which made me feel like Brian Kohberger is inexperienced sexually. And that's how he got so like wrapped up or caught up, was because it was like there was this hint of love, and because he had been so inexperienced, he fell hard, even though it was against his better judgment. Patience. I feel like there's a worry for him about not being able to have children. That's what came out when this... Like, he's afraid that his life is over and he's never going to be a father. He's never going to be able to create anything. He's never going to be able to do anything. But what I'm also getting is he hasn't given up completely, because he is hopeful. Like, again, there's something in his defense that he believes is gonna exonerate him. Yeah. Something to do with time. time. Like the timeline, I think, is off. Like the timeline of the murders, I believe, is off. And somehow he knows that. There's something about his alibi and time, the time frame of the murder, that's in his favor. Sacral chakra. This makes me feel like he was involved with someone in this house, I'm telling you. And these cards make me feel like he was trying to move on. I just heard, but he got sucked back in. So was he there for the murder? The feeling that I'm getting that he's saying is no, he wasn't. No, he was not there at the time of the murder. I guess that's where the timeline being wrong comes in. Brian Kohberger knew someone in the house. There was some sort of romantic relationship happening. Against better judgment, he was trying to move on. Trapped in fear. Yeah, he's going to be very much invested in his case, but he's going to be scared shitless, as he should be. Because if he's found guilty, he is going to die via the death penalty. Right? The feeling I'm getting is that there's a link between him and Dylan. That's the feeling I'm getting. That's the only thing that makes sense. Or she knew him. One of the roommates knows him. I feel like one of the surviving roommates knows him. It's just a matter of how. I'm thinking that like he's the perfect fall guy. Accelerated motion. I'm trying to move on, right? And then I'm tempted and things happen so fast. Did he get lured into that house? You guys, there's a connection. 100%. Triumphant success. Yeah, he got the feeling I'm getting is like he got suckered or like set up or like trapped. Authority. Yeah, that made me feel like he's like in solitary confinement in the jail. Like he's alone in the jail. Like there's nobody around. Which I think he kind of likes. But he's also afraid like he's going to be alone for the rest of his life. Yeah, there's something. Foundations and achievements. There's issues here with the house. There is also issues with the like the strength, the base, the foundation, right on the card, of this case. This case is on shaky ground. To begin with. Okay. Was he there for the murders? The feeling I'm getting is like, I'm not there for the murders, but I'm lured there. I'm called there. Okay, the feeling I'm getting is like Brian Kohberger, as he sits in jail, does not feel like he is guilty of this crime. And is he involved? I think so. But I don't think it's in the way that we think. Like the public. And the reason I think that is because of this. There is a connection with him in the house. I'm thinking that he was like lured there after the fact. I really strongly suggest that the police start looking at the two roommates and their connection to him, because I think there is one. Or not even that, his connection to everyone in that house, because there is a connection. But I feel like it's to the surviving roommates. I feel like there's some sort of romantic involvement that wasn't quite working out, but lingered. Which makes me feel like these cards, like I was trying to leave this situation behind. I want to know who told the police about Brian Kohberger. How did he... I feel like he was like given up. Like I feel like someone told the police about him. There's something with his alibi. There's something about... There's a discrepancy in time. And that's what he's holding on to. The feeling I'm getting is like I was there, but I was like lured there. Like after the crime has already been committed. Like he's, honest to God, he like very much feels like he is innocent. But again, scared. It's almost like he's in shock that this even happened. And really, when you look at him, you can see it. It's kind of like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? He knows that he has lost everything. Whether, like, even if he was found guilty, he knows that his life is over. And this is it. This is what I feel like happened. Went there. This makes me feel like sex or drugs or something. And then everything just kind of happened. This is not my opinion. This is the energy that I'm getting from this reading. This is what I feel like. I have the whole world ahead of me, and in a split second, it's done. Why him, though? It's almost like it's a plan. Like we know the perfect person to like pin this on. It's almost like he was an easy target. And again, because his lack of sexual romantic experience. There's holes in this case, 100%. Definite holes, and it's all about the house. It's all about I just heard the devil's in the details. It's all about the activities surrounding the house at the time of the murder. There's something wrong with them. And I think it has to do with the timeline. The timeline is off, incorrect. I just heard the word diluted. What does that mean? Diluted? Like the timeline, I feel like, that makes me feel like when you dilute something, that makes me feel like expanded. Like the timeline is too long. It should be shorter. Like the murder happened sooner than they're saying. And thus, if that is the case, he could not possibly be present at the time of the murder. Okay, so what's the update? The update is Brian Kohberger feels like he's not guilty because he was not present for the murder. But he's not innocent, I don't think. I think he was there. But the reason that he was there was because he was called there. Or lured there, I feel like by someone involved with the house. Was it the roommates? That's something I'll have to dive deeper into. He feels like he got set up. He got dragged into a situation that had, I feel like, nothing to do with him. And now he's going down for it. He is withdrawn in jail because he's just in shock that his life has just blown up so fast. But he is still hopeful because he knows, and I feel like his lawyers know, that the timeline for the murder is jacked. Like, it's messed up. It's not right. And I feel like that's going to be their defense. That the murders did not happen when they say it did, and thus he was here, and he could not possibly have committed the murders. I feel like there's going to be some confessions that are going to be unexpected by the public. Like his involvement, I believe, with the residents of the house, or those surrounding the residents of the house. Like Brian Kohberger is not just some stranger that just happened to be stalking. There's involvement, 100%. And he feels like he got involved and shouldn't have, but because of this, he got caught up. Again, which I feel like is because of sexual inexperience that led to eagerness. Anyhow, I'm going to stop that here, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.